It goes really fast. And here I am with my pal, Laura Philipott.
Hello.
Hello. Are you being Ron Charles? Hello.
Hello. Nobody could be Ron Charles except Ron Charles.
I mean, we got a chat yesterday, and it was so hard to end because all I wanted to do was soak up his humor and his humanity.
Of course.
But we always say, hello.
He is a delight.
Oh my God, such a delight. And such a treat. You and I spoke about I Miss You When I Blink last summer, or did we do it when the book came out?
Yeah.
It was last summer?
I mean, it was either like 9 months ago or 10 years ago. I've lost all sense of time.
There's no sense of
time. What is time anymore?
Or day. I know. What are you doing? I don't know. But somehow, and I'm sure you are too, you're incredibly busy doing what you do. Or no?
Well, yeah. What's been weird is, I'm doing stuff like what you and I are doing right now. The whole reason we're doing it is because this paperback is about to come out. And so I do have things to do, but I was laughing this morning looking at I still use a paper calendar.
So do I.
And I've written down these notes that I don't usually have written down next to appointments that say things like, get dressed, wear makeup. Like I have made a note on like which calls I need to have brushed my hair for. And like today, I put a note that said, get dressed, because this is not a call where I should be in my pajamas. So the calendar is more packed because I have additional weird little notes. Like this one is a Zoom. This one is a FaceTime.
I love that. That's smart. And you do have to write everything down. I have phone alerts, but I'm writing. I do also write in a notebook, but I pretty much usually dress because everything's been on camera and I'm so used to radio or podcast.
Yeah.
And so that's peculiar. I like this format for sure because I'm in everybody's home and there you are in front of your bookcase.
I love it.
So there's a treat. But yeah, the paperback comes out on the 7th. So
yeah.
And then I'm like, what's today? So a week from Tuesday, the paperback.
Whenever that is, whenever April comes.
Right. I know it is a bizarre time and sort of being ensconced in all of the books and the dates that, on Tuesdays and with book people, there is definitely some warped sense of when is it. I look at the phone a lot to see the day. Just myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love
our dogs are so confused. They're like, is it Saturday every day? Why are the people still here?
Did you see that adorable? There's so many videos, and that's the other thing. I'm busy watching. Everyone's like, just watch this. This is funny. Just watch this till the end. But the one with Golden on his dad's chest, and the dad's working. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, it's like right there.
Yeah, did you see it? And he's like smushing his head in. But the dogs are loving having their people home.
Yeah.
So then,
there are some nice aspects to being at home. It's a horrible, horrible reason, and I wish we weren't in this situation, but I like seeing my dogs more. Honestly, I like seeing my kids more. They're teenagers. They have very busy lives normally, and I miss them all the time because they're always gone, and I wish we weren't in the situation we're in, but I do love seeing them every day. I love having lunch with them. I haven't had daily lunch with my kids since they were in preschool, and I was, picking them up at 12.
Isn't that wild when you think about it? And you write essays, you're an essayist, you're an observer of life. Are you starting to get those sort of ideas of, because it is true, the teenagers are trapped. We're all trapped. And the
poor teenagers, the high school seniors and the college seniors.
I know.
That breaks my heart, all that they're missing right now.
I know I have a niece who is graduating from college and all of those changes, and then the ones that are going off and the new student days and all of the celebrations. There's so much to focus on. There's the obvious, which is horrifying and mind-blowing and impossible to even wrap a head around. And then there are ways to then there are the daily parts of life, that go on. And figuring out this space, I can't even imagine. I'm glad you're enjoying your
and kids. It's changing so fast. You were asking, am I writing about some of this stuff? What's really weird, and I have been writing a little bit the whole routine is off because we've got all these people in the house now, and my focus is fractured, but I have been writing. But what is strange is that what makes perfect sense one day in terms of tone and just content and like what you're saying, 48 hours later doesn't make any sense. And I've already been in a situation just in the past week and a half where I've had to email an editor at an outlet and say, hey, that piece that you were going to run next week, you got to send that back because it is now tone deaf for the time we're in, or what I was talking about just doesn't even make sense anymore. So it's a weird, reality is moving so fast. It's like sand slipping out from under your feet. It's hard to get a grip on it long enough to write about it.
Yes, I know one of our magazines arrived. I think it was Rhode Island Monthly, and there was this happy little poke bowl on the front.
Yeah,
because that's what was coming for the April edition. And I can imagine, especially when you're writing in time, in those time slots where things are due, or there's, it's what's happening now. I know just even like going through my inbox and trying to catch up, and they're only emails from maybe 7 or 8 days ago.
Yeah.
And ones from 2 weeks ago are almost carefree. And they're so, somebody just pulled up to the driveway, and I'm like, who's there? And they hadn't called first, and it was somebody to spray mosquito stuff. And I'm in the garage going, I am not afraid of mosquitoes right now. I mean,
the least of our worries.
I'm like, yeah, that seemed a little tone deaf. Like, maybe we're on your schedule for March 26th, but like, call first. It wasn't even to come in the house. Like,
I don't know.
You in my outside air. And that may not be rational. But
I just had to send a bunch of emails. Right. I just had to send a bunch of emails because I realized that a month ago, over a month ago, I was in New York at Simon & Schuster, and I wrote some postcards to some people that they were going to send early copies of the paperback to. And the postcards were super, it was life over a month ago. So they were like, hey, how's it going? Yeah. Spring's almost here. See you later. Here's the paperback. And they said, we're going to hang on to these postcards and then we'll mail them out when the book is ready. And it just occurred to me the other day. I was like, oh my God, right. What if those just dropped in the mail today? And people get these postcards from me that are like, hey, how's it going? Spring's here. So I wrote these emails and I was like, I just want you to know I'm not insane, or at least not insane for that reason. It ended up that the postcards didn't even get mailed because they're stuck in the office on 6th Avenue and everyone has gone home. So it was not a problem. But I did get to send that fun email explaining that I'm not just chipper for no good reason at this time.
Which planet is Mary Laura living on?
Really?
I think that there's a sense of like a pass with most things, although you should see the way I reacted to the poor guy in the truck. Like, go away. But that, certain things, and they are going to sort of slip through. It's just, I don't know how to begin an email anymore. The emails that are easier to write are the ones where we've already been going back and forth. So there needs to be no salutation because
you don't know. Yeah, you don't know what shape people are in when they get it. And I keep changing my sign off to different things. I think right now what I've been saying is, sending you safe and healthy wishes. That's all I know to say.
Right. We know what we wish for. And I've been doing like hashtag stay in and read, stay home and read.
Stay home.
If you can, please stay home. The less people out and about, the better. If you're not essential. So we know that everybody who's home is sort of non-essential. You're not essential.
I'm completely non-essential. I don't need to be. My job right now is to stay out of the way of the people who have important jobs to do. Exactly. I'm making that my job. Get out of the way. That's what I'm doing.
No, it's very true. And that's such an important message. And I think people have sort of gotten it at different levels. And in case you don't know, I'm speaking with Mary Laura Philipott. I Miss You When I Blink. It's her book. Came out last year. It is a must read. It was everywhere. It will continue to be everywhere. And what a great way to jump into stories. This is a really great time for short stories. It's a great time to read or delve into a huge, juicy novel too. But for the purposes of this chit chat with Mary Laura, you can feel satisfied and read a few essays or read the whole book. And it comes out in paperback on the 7th, but it's already out. So they flip. Do you also have the hardcover nearby?
I do. I'll show you.
Yeah, let's have them.
So the
I love it.
Hardcover, paperback, but look, people keep going, where did you get all these colors? They're all the same colors that are here.
Of course.
And the blue is the same color as the naked hardcover.
Simon Schuster knows what they're doing. I love that. I love that they went opposite.
They're good that way.
They are. They're very,
I do too.
very creative, and they just always put out a beautiful package. Thank you.
They do.
I'm glad you had it right there. We didn't even set that up. And go to MaryLauraPhilipott.com. Find her on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on our website. You are so much fun to follow. You are hilarious.
Oh, thanks.
I love the commentary and the photographs, and I like to not miss anything that you are sharing. You're an awful lot of fun to follow. So I would normally say,
thank you.
You're welcome. What's Paperback Tour going to be like? Well, here we are. Here we are. I know. Note to self. We're on Zoom. Wear top. This is my dress up for today. I got lipstick on for you.
I put earrings on. It occurred to me that I haven't worn earrings in over a week, and I was like, could my ear holes grow back together? I don't know. So I put earrings on for you.
It's funny. It takes a while. When we were kids, we always thought that they would close up really fast. But I had 3 at one time, when I was in the 80s, and I can still work those. But I was wearing the same earrings for 2 weeks straight, which is not like, not changing your underwear or something. But I did put on new earrings for you. Nice.
Thanks.
I mean, it's the small things, Mary Laura. It's the small things. So, let me give you an intro. Mary Laura Philipott is the author of I Miss You When I Blink, the nationally best-selling memoir and essays. Her writing has been featured frequently by the New York Times and also appears in such outlets as the Washington Post, the Paris Review Daily, the Oprah Magazine, Real Simple, and others. Across her work, Mary Laura examines the overlap of the absurd and the profound in life, literature, and culture. This is the show that's all out of order, so I am happy to have Mary Laura. We just start mid-sentence. When we did our interview last year, after reading I Miss You When I Blink, I felt like we were just old buds, and we just jumped right in. Your essays, relatable, full of heart, funny, thoughtful, just all the things I love about writing. Like, are you going to write a novel? Is that in there somewhere? Because I would love it.
I am writing another essay collection right now. I don't know how to write fiction.
It's a very different thing. I never put author, I never asked that, but like you and I are old friends, but I could tell the sensibility in your essays, and it is a very different thing. But I would already love your novel. I would love it.
Oh, thank you. At some point, maybe after I get this next book done, I would love to go off and study how novels are made in a different way than the way I study them as a reader. And as someone, I review books sometimes, and I study them in that way, but I would love to take some apart and kind of see what the guts look like and talk to some people who do it and go, how do you do this? It seems like it might be fun, but it
seems very different.
It also seems like wizard magic to me. And I don't know how people invent whole people and places. All I know how to do is write about what's happening.
And you do such an awesome job at it. And so, not to throw something else at you, but I just, when somebody writes, I remember reading Lee Woodruff. I love reading.
Oh,
and when she came out with her first
she's lovely.
novel, yes, I was like, yes, a novel. It's that idea, of when you're really just so connected to somebody's sensibility and just the way you feel when you read their work. And so you just keep writing essays. There's no pressure. I mean, if you have extra
Thank you.
time, and I love that you're sitting in front of your bookshelves, because that's been one of my favorite parts about doing so many of these interviews, is getting to see what's behind Mary Laura's shelf. What's happening there? It's a great space.
Well, I had to angle the laptop just right. So, you're not seeing like my snacks off on the side
Yeah.
and the dirty dog bed that's just over there. But just this right here looks really nice and clean.
Isn't that
It's
what
a
like
little bit of a facade, but
it's all a facade. It's all smoke and mirrors. And I know that, I put this up and my office was mid-construction. Now that's not important.
oh, wow.
So I just hit it. And, I think, who was it the other day was posting pictures, Josh Gondelman, I think, of the books holding up the laptops, because we're trying to, so we posted our stack, but there are 2 books below this that I wanted to show, which I can't because then it will be just like all shut.
Oh, right.
So I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
My laptop is currently sitting on a bar stool. So I'm in a chair and my computer is on a bar stool right in front of me.
So you have 4 people, you said, in the house. Where is everybody doing their thing, and how are you managing?
We've kind of carved up the house into space. I'm here working, obviously. My husband is here working, and then I have 2 teenagers who are both doing online school. And I didn't want everybody to be working in their bedrooms because I want there to be a sense of difference between night and day, which, as somebody who works from home all the time, I know can get a little hazy. Like you need a sense of a daytime space and a nighttime space. So we've carved up the house. I am currently working not at this moment. Right now I'm in my living room, but when I'm writing, I'm in my kitchen with the dogs. My husband is diagonally upstairs from me in the laundry room so that he can do all of his calls and we're not overhearing each other the whole time. Then we have 1 kid upstairs in my actual office, which I finally cleaned out so that it could be usable space and not just trash from last year's book tour. So 1 kid is upstairs in my office. And then the other child has set up an office in our guest bedroom downstairs. And so she dragged an old card table in there and she's, made this little space. She's sitting in a chair that's totally not a desk chair, but she's made her space. So mostly what we are doing is trying to stay out of the background of each other's Zoom calls because everybody's on Zoom all the time. So we're all like peeking around the corners going, can I come in here?
Right.
This morning I wanted to get this sweater out of the dryer and my husband was in the laundry room and I was like, I need the sweater.
It's a funny thing the way everybody's sort of maneuvering that, and everyone of course needs a room of their own, of one's own. But I know I've been sending around text messages with what time the Zoom calls are, but what I really want is an on-air sign outside of this door.
Yeah, we all need that right now. Like we all need the light that's like, I'm talking to other people right now.
Yeah.
Please hold.
Because have you seen some of the videos going around of people sort of half dressed and not? Somebody was telling me, a friend.
What are you going to do? We're all at home.
I know. And and it is a house. So like the normal flow of things is like, well, but this is a house first. And now it's co-sharing workspace. And
right.
I know somebody was telling me that there was a picture posted totally innocently of something. And the person who posted didn't realize you would see the wife sort of still in the bathroom. And they sent a text and said, take that picture down. Like, because people, like you're sort of, it's like the Truman Show, right?
It is.
We're like,
it's our homes are our offices now and television stations.
It's weird. Yeah, I know. Weird. So back to Mary Laura Philpott and visit her website. I'm going to forget that we're doing an actual interview, but
we're working, Robin.
We are working, and the truth is, this is what I maintain, that the Reading with Robin audience loves to get a glimpse at something they don't normally. And just, you can read the book. You should all read I Miss You When I Blink.
Yeah, let me put it back up here.
Yes,
my publicist will be so proud of me. There we go.
We got it. One of the best titles ever, and everybody's talking about this book. There's so many takeaways and relatable experiences, and that's again what I love about your writing. And then when people get a chance to really get into what an author is doing, or just little things that just happen to come up, then you would know, like, you're going to love this book. And I know a lot of people have read it, but you can read it in paperback on April 7th as well.
Yeah.
Collect them all. So talk about some of the essays, and as you were saying earlier about the emails that you sent or the postcards you were writing, are there any essays in there that now ring truer, or like, that kind of thing?
I will say one of the things that this book is about, in as much as it's about anything, because it's a memoir written in essay, so it does have some overarching themes. One of the things that it's about is navigating life as a type A person, or somebody who likes to have certainty and control,
Yeah.
and what it feels like. I write about a time in my life when it felt like I was losing that sense of certainty and control, and how that just absolutely tumbled my life upside down. We're all kind of in that moment of losing certainty and control right now. So I just this morning, I got a message from a reader on Instagram, a direct message. She said, "This is my first read of my stay-at-home time, and
Wow.
it has felt very familiar to what I'm feeling right now." So
That is true, because I remember there was a lot of overarching anxiety and uncertainty and change.
that's me.
Yeah, and where we all are in many ways, and that's why I gravitated toward it and connected so deeply with the stories. And I did read it more than I, read it before it came out. So it's been a year, but I just remember those themes and talking about making changes and the friendships and all of that. And these are things that we're examining. And people will remember the first book during this time that they were able to focus on.
Yeah.
Because this is a defining time. And so
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I was telling my husband last night, my attention span is just shot right now. And so I'm feeling disoriented, because one of the activities that I always do for comfort is read.
Yeah.
And I'm having a hard time reading right now. I have some recommendations over there that we'll get to in a little bit, but I'm having a hard time reading. And he said, "Well, what do you want to read? Like, what do you crave right now?" And I was like, I think the ideal book for me right now, it would be broken up into little pieces so I could read it just a piece at a time. And it would be like, it would make me think, but it would also be funny. It needs to make me laugh. And I would want to feel like the author was talking right to me. He goes, "You just described your own book."
I was going to say,
well, that doesn't do me any good, because I can't read it. I wrote it.
You know what? You could read a little bit each night to your audience. And did you do the audiobook?
I did read the audiobook. So anybody who would like me to read it to them, get on Libro FM and get the audiobook, and you will hear me reading it into your ears.
And you could also read it. It's funny, as you were describing all those things, I was saying, that sounds an awful lot like I Miss You when I blink. And that's why I was saying, like, those kinds of I love short stories, I love collections, I love anthologies, I also love novels and all of this. But the attention span thing that you mentioned is a really vivid point. I mean, most people can't argue with that. Some people are able to really just dive into a novel. I feel a little all over the place. So I Miss You When I Blink is really the perfect read. But I see you have
Thank you.
What do you have in your lap?
I do.
I saw.
If I can't read my own book as a reader, which I can't because I wrote it, have you read this yet, Robin?
No. Who is he? No, how do I not? This is when I get with like publicists. I'm like, how do I not have that book?
Okay, let's talk about this. Here for It by R. Eric Thomas, blurbed by Lin-Manuel Miranda and me.
I've been tweeting at him. I just figure maybe he'll get an answer.
He's such a joy. So this book is everything I just described when I was describing what I wish to read right now. Oh, wow. I may just reread this. Eric Thomas is, he's hysterical on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter if you just want to make your life happier.
I will.
He writes a really incisive and funny column on Elle.com called Eric Reads the News. He's very tapped into the daily culture and news, and he's so quick with his internet speak, very clever, but he is also on a whole separate level outside of that persona. He's an award-winning playwright and a really deep thinker. So this is his memoir and essays. And it strikes that perfect balance of really funny and then also really thoughtful and just brilliant. It is a delight to read, and it also, I swear, it leaves you a better person. Like, I got to the end of this and I was like, I have improved having read this. There's this fantastic chapter. There's this wonderful essay near the end where, here I am just reading to you.
Please read.
The end is running about 15 minutes late. This is an essay in which he imagines, and you can tell in this essay that he's a playwright, he imagines kind of a staged conversation between his selves at various ages. It's the best thing I've ever read. Anyway.
Very clever. Here for it. I'm going to.
Here for it.
I'm going to.
Robin, you will love it.
And is it Simon Schuster? Or no?
No, it's Valentine.
Okay.
Random House.
Okay. All right. And I'm
very good.
This is off-air stuff because there are some houses where I'm like, okay, I should have had that. Okay. Here for it. Not going to throw anybody under the bus during a pandemic, but okay.
And I'm pretty sure he recorded I'm almost positive he recorded his audiobook as well. So this would be another fantastic one to go ahead and order the hard copy so that it gets to you whenever it gets to you from your favorite indie bookstore, but also get on Libro FM and just let him read this to you.
Oh, I love that.
You will feel better.
That is like such a great, and I see where your books would be very symbiotic. Well, what else do you got?
Yes.
You have all right.
Okay, here's what else I got.
Emma's. Yes.
This is just something to pre-order because it comes out in May, but we all need something to look forward to. Yes. Like you got to have something to live for right now. Emma Straub. It's beautiful. Trademark Emma Straub. It's that perfect blend of heart and wit and sharp. There's a little social commentary in here, but mostly it's just a wonderful, heartwarming ensemble story about a family where everybody's a little flawed, but everybody has good intentions. You know, if you liked her other books, you're going to love this. She just keeps getting better and better.
It's fabulous. I will echo that. I'm glad you didn't pick up another one I don't have. I love Emma Straub's books, all of them, and I agree with Mary Laura. It's just purely joyful and sharply written and observed, and it's Emma. It's just Emma.
It's Emma. And I think Books Are Magic, her bookstore in Brooklyn, is also running a little pre-order special. I don't know how this is working right now. Maybe they're not at the moment, but they're back when the world was normal. You could pre-order this from Books Are Magic, and then with your pre-order, they would send you a little pen or something that goes with it. So, it's her store. That's the right place to pre-order it.
Yes, go to Books Are Magic, and you can find them on Instagram or Twitter, and see what they're doing with it. But it is a treat of a novel. It's a winner.
Joy.
It is.
It's just joy. Okay, here's what else I have. You read this, right?
Yes.
Wasn't it great?
And it's coming out in paperback, right?
It is the same day as I Miss You When I Blink. We're going to be paperback twins.
April 7th. Fabulous. Don't miss it. Yes.
Here, this is the only novels I can read right now are the ones that reach out and grab my attention on page one. I no longer at this moment have the focus for a gentle internal monologue that doesn't go anywhere for 50 pages. I need on page one for it to be look right here, look away from your Twitter, look at this book. And it's got to hold my attention like that the whole time. That's the only kind of novel I can read. And this is that.
I agree. So. And you do it, and you make a good point. And I really wonder if with people being home and having time to think about what's important, what matters, where you want to spend your time, if people will sort of be like, you know what, I am brave enough to put down a book that I'm 50 pages into, which we talk about all the time. They're not all for everybody.
Yeah.
And be sucked right into the story on that page. And you're focused. You're not like, let me check. Miracle Creek and Out in Paperback.
Out in Paperback, April 7th. And for the audio, I don't think I said the name of it. It's Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. Okay. I was just pointing at it going, this. Miracle Creek. It will grab your attention. Okay. One more for everybody who has been watching Little Fires Everywhere on Hulu.
Of course.
If you somehow missed Celeste Ng's prior novel, Everything I Never Told You, so good, and it's another one that grabs you on the first page. You find out right at the beginning that something terrible has happened to a girl, and her family is trying to figure out why, and they're going back kind of through their family backstory to figure out what led to this moment. And it will hold your attention the whole time. You will get such a lovely break from checking Twitter because you will be fully absorbed in this book. I really, really loved it. I love Little Fires Everywhere too. I might love this one even better.
I love them both too, but that book, Everything I Never Told You, is a seminal reading experience for my au revoir, whatever you say it, of books.
Yeah.
I loved that book, and so when Little Fires Everywhere came out, I was so excited, which I also loved. I haven't caught on yet. I have the Hulu. I have my login. I asked the kids again for my own username, my own password for the account that I pay for. I was told not to misplace it again. I'm going to be in a timeout.
Mom. This makes a great read along to I Miss You When I Blink, because what you find out in this book, and I'm not giving any spoilers here, is that the various members of this family, but particularly the teenage girl, really struggled with perfectionism and a drive to please everybody, which this is a darker telling of that same theme, but it goes well. There were a lot of moments in this book where I was like, that feels very real, and I could sort of remember my own high school experience.
Isn't it interesting when you read a book? I know there are so many novels that I read where, and we've spoken to so many authors, and we know that some things are pulled from real life, or the emotion is the story isn't exactly the same, the emotion is there, but when there's such a deep connection, sometimes I feel like, okay, this must have sort of happened, and usually that it is true. It may not be just the emotion or the essence. It's pretty much exactly what happened, but there's the way it's written. It's so vivid, but often, I don't know, ripped from the diary. I don't know what it is. But there's nothing like reading a book and just getting into it like that. And I love the ones you shared. Feel free after this to go to our Facebook, because we're streaming on Facebook, and maybe if you want to post a stack, because
I will.
Laura, not to give homework assignments after the interviews, but
no, I'll put them in the comments under the video or whatever.
Thank you, because people will say, which books did Mary Laura say? I got the third one. Did you get the second?
I'll take a little picture and I'll put it in the comments of this video.
I love that. I appreciate that. Thank you. I know what you're saying about reading. I have picked up so many books because, I'm trying to decide who to interview, and I don't know about events, but and I just keep putting them up and picking them up, putting them down. But it's just I don't have
my brain is broken.
Yeah, it's the books that I read 3 weeks ago, and that Laura Zigman's Separation Anxiety. That's so my kind of book, and I barely put it down. And Lily King's Writers and Lovers.
I love Writers and Lovers. It's right so good.
I'm not going to get up and show it. I have.
I don't even have my copy anymore because I read it and then I gave it to somebody else, and then we're on lockdown and I don't have it here. So I keep wanting to talk about it and I don't have it to show.
I wish
it is.
I wish I could teleport it to you. I would share it because I have a few of them that people ordered from our event. That was our last event, March 9th with Lily. And so I can't give them their books. There were a lot of, I've spoken to a lot of publicists who are not in, they're not in the New York office, or they're staying elsewhere, and they're not their books. And they can't get their books. So that's interesting. I love that you mentioned Libro FM. That's a great place to go and to be able to listen and support the local independent bookstores. A lot of them are mailing. What's Parnassus doing? What's their,
I'm trying to remember. The last thing I heard, I'm not on staff there anymore, so I don't get the regular, what we're doing today emails. But I think up until a couple days ago, they were doing curbside. Mm-hmm. You could come pick up your books curbside, but they decided that really was not consistent with the stay-at-home order to encourage people to come out. So I think they are at this moment closed to the public. You can still order online, of course, because they can always drop ship and have things sent to you. So they're definitely taking online orders.
Okay,
and I know that on all their social media, they're updating as to what they're doing.
Check, because I think of you, I think of Parnassus, certainly.
Yeah.
And I've been doing, I'm sort of trying to keep up with what everybody is offering. And I agree. I think the curbside thing sounded good. Again, 4 days ago, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like, then you need
We're adapting everybody is adapting as we go and figuring out like what's right for today. And it may not be what's right for tomorrow, but we're, everybody's doing their best.
They are. We're just trying to keep up. And what's really great for today is go to MaryLauraPhilipott.com and follow her everywhere, like her, leave reviews on Goodreads, on Amazon. And it's so important. And look, you guys have time to do these things that you're always like, wow, the author wrote this book for me. What can I do for the author? You can follow them, share their books, leave reviews, 5-star, all good reviews. None of you are really book critics out there. So don't be like, well, on page 38, she really could have put a comma. That's not helpful. It's really not helpful.
You're so good.
Well, and I really do, thank you. I really practice what I preach in that way, and I love to share it. And
you
do. Those are things that are really helpful and meaningful, and especially now when books are coming out and the tours and all of that is not happening, books need to be front and center. We count on our book community. It's such a community. We need storytelling, empathy, and meet with your book clubs online. You can do Zoom chats. I was on one earlier with 12.
Which, by the way, I am meeting, I'm doing virtual book clubs. Anybody who has a book club that can't get together in real life, go to my website and there's a tab that says book clubs and you just fill out a little form. And if I can possibly dial in, I will.
That's awesome. And take authors up on that when they offer. Keep authors busy.
Keep us busy and be on the lookout for, everyone who was watching this, keep watching Robin's show. Keep watching, what's the thing called? A Mighty Blaze. Keep eyes on that, because all these people, my heart is so with these people who, I have a paperback coming out. It's a year after the hardcover. Yeah, it's a bummer that we're launching the new edition and I can't go around and talk about it. But people who have been writing like their debut novel for the past decade and just waiting and waiting and waiting for this moment to introduce it to the public. And now they can't because they have to stay home. Look for those books and buy those books because, God, my heart is so with everybody in that situation.
It's gutting for a lot of people and a lot of people's livelihoods. And if you go to A Mighty Blaze, I'm doing interviews on Tuesdays for A Mighty Blaze, and go to follow them on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. That we were on the Zoom chat before. Amazing people have been coming on and joining forces, and we have people in publicity and in marketing, and like everyone's pulling their talents. So they're going to be announcing all the books that are coming out on Tuesday.
Good.
And
Good.
They're doing everything like that. So follow A Mighty Blaze, and can't follow enough. You just keep following. And I spoke to the Mountains Sing, the author, Hui Mei. She was in Jakarta this morning. And
wow.
She's written quite extensively in Vietnamese. This is her first English written novel, and she's a poet and an artist. We were in her. I asked her. I said, "Do you have anything hanging that's yours?" And so she showed me, and the time difference wasn't the challenge. There was some technology issues, and I just knew we could do it. And then hearing her story and the story of this book, and like 7 years of work, and out by Algonquin, it is gorgeous, and we're rolling with it. So we did this, and we just keep showing what's coming out and sharing the books. And I'm so happy to get an opportunity to chat with you again, my friend.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear more about
great.
Yeah, it's been fun, right? If you want to hear about the actual book, go to iTunes, Reading with Robin. Mary Laura and I did an interview last year where we talked more about the book. This is more about the book, about books, about people in houses and how they need to have their own space. And visit MaryLauraPhilipott.com. And from there, you can find everything else about where she is. And if you're in a book club, check that out and invite Mary Laura to your party. She'll get dressed and she'll put on earrings.
I'll put earrings on.
You'll put on earrings. Such a treat. Thank you so much. Catch you later.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is fun.
Pleasure. Take care.